Hi, everybody. Boy, it feels like summer today, doesn't it? You know, Sweaty Betty is back in action. Hi, Nan.
Hi, everybody. Isn't this a gorgeous, gorgeous day? I hope you were able to go outside a little bit and play in your yard. That would be super, super nice. Enjoy your book from Aunt Christine. Happy days.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Nana. Today's book is another one from my friend and neighbor, Mrs. Gnu. She has the best books. You know why? Because she's a teacher, and she knows which ones are the best. This is called Well, I Never by Susan Pearson. And I want to say happy birthday to Betty Ann today, my dear, dear friend, and anyone else who's celebrating something today, okay? Let's see. I love pigs. That's why I picked this book to read first out of my new batch. It rained so hard on Friday night, the corn had grown as tall as trees by morning. Mavis got lost in it when she went for the mail, and we didn't see her again till dinner time. Then Sydney forgot to shut the cage door, and as mice got out, they ran straight to the kitchen where Aunt Bertha was fixing breakfast. She jumped right up on the countertop and turned as white as a sheet. Then her hair turned white too. After that, all she could cook was white food. Uncle Fred made pancakes for us then, but he burned them. He fed them to the goats instead, which would have been all right except for the syrup. The goats got it all over themselves, and then they stuck to everything. Oh no. Pa went off to bale the hay, but he must have been wool gathering, 'cause he baled the sheep instead. Ma fed popcorn to the chickens by mistake, and it popped inside their stomachs. They spent the next hour and a half bouncing on and off the barn roof, with Ma running back and forth beneath them, trying to catch their eggs in the laundry basket. Oh, they are having a day, aren't they? Grandma was so busy watching Ma and laughing that she poured a box of laundry soap in the pig slops. The pigs ate it anyway. Then they started blowing bubbles. Then they lifted right up off the ground. Sydney and I caught them with our butterfly nets and tied them to the fence so they wouldn't blow away. Look how clean they are. The horses were so surprised to see pigs flying around that their tails all curled. But Grandma ironed them straight again in the laundry room. The cows forgot the way to the pasture and got tangled in the laundry. They finally got loose and wandered off. Sydney and I found them in the melon patch, dressed in Ma's nightie and Aunt Bertha's girdle, and even Grandpa's Valentine boxer shorts. When we got back to the barnyard, Pa was sitting on top of the barn, and so was the tractor. Someone left the checkerboard leaning on its side in the closet, and when Grandpa and I found it, all the black squares had fallen to the bottom. Grandma made us a new board in the waffle iron, but the squares were so small, we had to play with peas, which made it hard to get kinged. The peas kept rolling off and getting lost. Ma got out the vacuum to clean them up, but her mind just wasn't on it. And before she knew it, she'd vacuumed up every one of Eleanor's Lincoln logs, all 6 of Fritzy's puppies, and Pa's favorite chair. Oh dear, she said, we've certainly all had our heads in the clouds this morning. You can say that again, said Sydney, pointing out the window. We looked through the lace curtains at a cloud floating by. Well, I never, said Aunt Bertha, and we all ran outside to see what was up. We were. The end of our road didn't meet up with State Highway 32 anymore. It was about 3,000 feet below us. We could just make it out between the clouds. Ma grabbed her kerchief as a plane whizzed by right in front of us. Gracious, she said, I hope Mavis hasn't fallen off. Look at that. There's no road in front of their house. Just then, Delmore drove up in the pickup truck. Mavis was with him. He'd found her wandering through the corn, singing, show me the way to go home. Well, that's a relief, said Ma. Now all we have to do is figure out a way to get down from here. Simple, said Sydney. Just tie something heavy to a rope and drop it down. It'll pull us after it. That's gravity. So Delmore ran to find a rope. He tied one end of it around the barn, and Sydney tied the other end to the pickup. Then we lowered the pickup. The farm dropped about 1,000 feet and then stopped. We need more weight, called Sydney. So Delmore brought the horses. Sydney tied them onto the rope and lowered them, and we dropped another 500 feet. Delmore brought the sofa next, then the piano, and finally the cows. That did it. We were back in Iowa. Grandma sewed us down with fishing line, and everything went back to normal. Fritzy's puppies popped out of the vacuum cleaner. The black squares on the checkerboard moved back up to where they belonged. The corn shrank and the pigs came down to earth. I'm certainly glad that's over, said Ma, as we sat down to a dinner of white rice, white bread, white potatoes, white onions, white cheese, and white milk. But the tractor looks like it's still on the roof of the barn. Oh, that was a funny story. I really liked that. And I love the idea of clean pigs just floating all over. I hope you enjoyed the story. Enjoy this beautiful day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. I love you and I miss you. Bye-bye.